Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here. Today, we are talking about women empowerment and leadership, how learning, growing, and leading with purpose creates real impact. This is not just a woman issue, it's a leadership and progress issue for all of us. Let's use this moment to reflect, challenge all patterns, and live with practical ways to support more women in leadership. Today, we will be sharing our story together. I am Carmen Llano, and joining me is Quratulain Tariq. We are excited to share our experience, lessons, and practical ideas on women's empowerment and leadership. Our goal is simple: to leave you with the real insights you can apply in your own journey and workplace. Why women empowerment and leadership matter to us? Women empowerment and leadership is not a trend, it's a necessity. When a woman learns, grows, and leads, she doesn't just change her own life, she transforms teams, companies, and communities. In a world shaped by inequality, uncertainty, and constant change, we need leadership that deliver both emphasis and results. And women are proving that every day. Empowering more women is not a favor, it's a smart, fair, and strategic decision. Before we begin, let me share the company context behind our perspective. Nespon Solutions is a global IT services company based in Dallas, Texas, with operations across four continents. Founded in 2008, we grow through client trust and strategic acquisitions. Recently, we have been recognized globally by Team Forum for our AI application in the communications industry. We are also a certified woman and minority owned business. And lastly, we excel in AI and agent for implementations, providing customized solutions that deliver measurable results. And now let me introduce myself, and then Kurat will introduce herself before we move into our first topic. I am Carmen Llano, a system information engineer from Paraguay with over 30 years of experience. After building my career in Argentina, I returned to my home country, and today I serve as Director of Pre-Sales and Delivery for North America and Nespon Solutions. My career has focused on custom software development across multiple industries, including retail, telecommunications, services, technology, banking and insurance, healthcare, and government. In recent years, I focus on the Salesforce ecosystem, helping clients design scalable, results-driven implementations. A recent milestone I especially proud of is that our team won the Team Forum Moonshot Catalyst, applying generative AI to a Salesforce use case in the telecommunications industry. Another meaningful milestone in my career was funding my own tech venture during a transformative period in mobile app development and interactive gaming. That experience shaped my leadership style. I also worked with the Buenos Aires city government in the mobility department, where I saw how technology can create real impact for millions of people. I experienced that same sense of admiration when Salesforce launching new products and releases, introducing innovative technologies, impacting thousands of organizations worldwide, while everything continued running with almost no interruptions. And now I love Kura to introduce herself before we move into our first topic.
Thank you, Carmen. It is absolutely amazing to know all your journey and amazing milestones. Thanks for sharing that with us. Hi, everyone. I'm Quratulain Tariq. I'm based in Islamabad, Pakistan. Currently, I work as a senior solutions engineer with Or2, which is an AI-powered Salesforce automation ISV company, and it's also part of the Ascendix portfolio. At Or2, we help companies and teams transform their productivity by using our automation suites, and we've been around at the App Exchange since 2012. And as a solution engineer, on the daily, I work to bridge the gap between business challenges and technology by designing and implementing Salesforce based solutions. And primarily, my role spans across pre sales, solution design, and other related activities. I have been part of the Salesforce ecosystem for little over 8 years now, and in this time, I've worked with multiple organizations, diverse industries, and building impactful solutions for them. And while doing all of it along the way, I've really enjoyed mentoring colleagues at work, also contributing to Salesforce community, which I would say has led um, to a lot of growth, and it is a big meaningful part of my growth as a leader as well. Thank you, Carmen. I will pass it back to you to take us forward.
Thanks, Kura. Now that we've introduced ourselves, let's begin with our leadership stories. For me, a defining moment in my leadership journey was becoming a mother while advancing in my career. This experience reshaped how I lead. I learned to lead with greater empathy, clear priorities, and resilience to face challenge with purpose. It's It was a true turning point. Instead of working for perfection, I started leading with authenticity, setting boundaries, and being intentional. This shift made me a stronger professional and a more human, impactful leader. Building on that theme of transformation, a challenge that truly shaped me was founding a technology startup at a time when mobile app development and interactive games were still highly disruptive. Building in that space requires vision, constant learning, and the courage to make decisions without a clear playbook. It taught me how to lead through uncertainty, adapt quickly, and turn innovation into real value. That experience defined my leadership style: bold, resilience, and future focus. Now, I love Kura to share her insights on this.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us. And it's an amazing inspiration for all the moms out there that they can always do more and achieve their dreams. Thank you. I would start off with this multiple images on here, which are reflective of all that I'm very passionate about, the community that we have here in Pakistan, that we work on nurturing and growing. I would say one of the defining moment in my personal leadership journey is actually noticing a gap early in my career. So when I started back in 2017 working in the Salesforce ecosystem, there was no community around here where I am based, and the nearest community was out there in Karachi, 1,000 kilometers away from here, and which really meant that there were limited opportunities to learn from peers and connect within the ecosystem. So that was kind of a turning point for me where I realized that if we wanted a community here, someone had to step up and build it. And I started little by little with all the inspiration that I had at the point to help organize meetups, leading local groups, and eventually working on community conferences that we arrange every year, Pakistan Dreaming, that helped us connect with people from multiple regions and different countries. Over time, this effort really helped us bridge the gap between the local and the global Salesforce community, and it has opened a lot of opportunities not just for myself, but a lot of other people in the community as well. And I think one of the outcomes was being recognized as one of the first Pakistan's MVPs of Salesforce from, and it was a massive recognition by Salesforce, which was incredibly more meaningful because of all the impact that we were able to produce through these initiatives. And I would say that experience in itself really shaped my view of leadership. And I understand that it's not just about individual success, but about creating opportunities and building ecosystems that can, where others can grow as well, just at the same time as you are growing. And I think for me, leadership started in that moment of realizing that if opportunities don't exist around you, you can always step up and create them. Again, not for just yourself, but everybody else as well. Thank you, Carmen. Over to you.
Thanks, Kurat, for that perspective. And building on this, let's move into what empowerment really means. At the beginning, empowerment felt personal. It's, it was about proving myself, delivering results, and learning and earning, a seat at the table. It was about being ready, being strong, and showing that I belong. But with time, I understood something deeper. Empowerment is not only about reaching a place, it is about becoming the kind of leader who transforms that place. Today, empowerment means using my voice with confidence and purpose. It means making decisions with intentions. It means living without pretending, without shrinking, and without asking permission to be authentic. I used to think success was the goal. Now I believe impact is the goal because real empowerment is not only personal, but also collective. It is opening doors and making sure they stay open. It is mentoring, sharing opportunities, and lifting others as we rise. It is setting healthy boundaries and showing that leadership can be excellent and human at the same time. For me, the shift has been clear from individual achievement to shared impact. From how do I prove myself to how do I create a space for others to grow. From reaching the table to redesign the table so more voices are heard. And that is the invitation I leave with you today. Live in a way that is true to who you are. Use your voice even when it shakes. Choose courage over comfort. And wherever you are, create one more opportunity for someone else. Because empowerment is not a title you receive, it's a life you carry and pass on. And with that, Kurat, I love for you to share yourself in this.
Thank you, Carmen. Again, I appreciate your insights on passing the opportunity to other people. Definitely, that makes all the difference. I think I would have similar thoughts to share about this as well, where initially, as you said, I also thought, empowerment is personal growth, learning new skills, building confidence, and proving that I do belong in the room. And like many other women building careers in Pakistan and beyond, the common barriers I believe we face are limited representation in tech to start with, fewer role models to look up to, and then at times the subtle expectation to stay within the traditional paths, which has tremendously shifted over the past 8 years. And we definitely have a lot more role models to look up to, which is great because you can be what you can see, and representation definitely matters. And I think over time, my perspective has evolved as well from individual success to more about lifting others as I grow, also about building communities, sharing knowledge more openly, making sure more people, especially women, have access to opportunities that may not have existed before. And while we are building our careers, and especially in Pakistan, where a lot of women sometimes find it challenging to enter or stay in the workforce, I think empowerment also means visibility. And from what I have seen and learned, when one woman or one person steps forward and speaks up and leads in their field, it quietly expands what others believe is possible as well for themselves. So I think the real empowerment is when success stop being individual and start becoming collective, when your journey is actively creating paths for others to follow. Thank you, Carmen.
Thanks, Kurat. In our discussion about empowerment, we explored how it involves from personal achievement to collective impact, understanding that empowerment is not just about success for ourselves, but also about lifting others is crucial. Now, let's go deeper into the common barriers that we face in this journey of empowerment. Kurat, what common barriers have you experienced in your leadership journey?
Thank you, Carmen. I think that's a very thought provoking question. One of the most common barriers I think the women usually face, or everybody faces, is access. So, access to networks, mentors, opportunities that help accelerate your careers, which again has tremendously shifted in the past few years. And especially when you are building careers in emerging tech ecosystems like Pakistan, those pathways are always evolving. Sometimes the challenge isn't talent or ambition, it's simply visibility or knowing um, or having the exposure to the right opportunities. And I believe another barrier that I've noticed in myself and around me as well is women hesitate to step forward until they feel completely ready. And with the way things are progressing recently with AI and everything else, I think if we wait until we are ready, it's already too late to take action. And that's another barrier that I see. And in general, what helped me navigate this was the community itself. Being part of a professional Salesforce community is learning from everybody, sharing knowledge makes a lot of difference. And that's why I believe leadership also means actively investing in these ecosystems while we take from them. And we can build them by mentoring, building communities wherever you are, creating spaces where more women can enter, learn, and grow with more confidence about themselves.
Thank you, Kurat, for sharing those valuable insights. I learned that self-doubt does not mean I'm not capable. It means I'm growing. In tech where change is constant, I had to keep learning, and that process reinforced my confidence, adaptability, and leadership. I have faced moments where expectations were different and sometimes invisible, but very real. Instead of shrinking, I choose to stay consistent, communicate with clarity, and let performance and integrity build credibility. One of the biggest lessons was understanding that leadership is not about being liked by everyone. It's about being respected, being fair, and making decisions with courage and empathy, especially in fast changing environments. Reflecting on this experience, I realized that our mindset has significantly shifted over the time. For me, leadership is not about constantly proving that we belong. It's about creating a space where others can belong and grow too. We shifted our mindset from performance to impact, from seeking validation to living with intention, and from focusing on individual success to fostering collective growth. In a faith based world, we also learn that effective leadership requires continued learning, unlearning, and relearning. This shift made us more intentional, resilient, and impactful leaders. Murat, I love to hear your thoughts in this mindset shift.
Thank you, Carmen. I believe mindset plays a big role in leadership. Um, to start with, I felt like I needed to check every box, gain enough experience, collect all the right credentials, and wait until I was fully ready before stepping forward and filling in the bigger shoes. But over time, I have realized that leadership is mostly happening while you are still learning and you get opportunities to step up and make an impact. And what really changed things for me personally was focusing less on being ready and focusing more on being useful by contributing where I can, sharing knowledge, helping others. And that shift also helped me see leadership differently and really seeing that it's not about the titles or the seniority at any point. It's more about the impact that you are generating. And sometimes leadership simply means creating opportunities, again, building communities and helping someone else believe that they belong in the space as well. And I think when you adopt that mindset, growth becomes much more collaborative. Your success isn't just measured by how far you can go, but eventually more about how many people can grow alongside you.
Thank you, Kurat, for that perspective. I believe this experience shaped who we are as leaders and how we can empower others. So let's dive into the next topic: growth, resilience, and leadership lessons. Let's explore our individual experience and insight on how growth and resilience have shaped our leadership style. Urat, what lesson have you learned in this area?
Thank you, Carmen. I think one of the biggest lessons I would say I've learned the hard way is that you don't have to do everything yourself. Initially, you do feel responsible for carrying everything, solving every problem, responding to every request, making sure everything is perfect. But over time, I have realized that leadership is more about trusting, which includes trusting your team, empowering others, and allowing people to take ownership. And when you do lead with that trust in other people, that leads to better results. And the results are often more stronger than what you could have achieved alone. Because again, as all of us have heard, if you have to go fast, you can go alone. But if you have to go far, you have to take others along with you.
Thanks, Urat. For me, one hard earned lesson I learned is that the speed without alignment leads to chaos. Early in my career, I thought that moving quickly was the key to success. However, I come to realize that clarity, effective communication, and shared priorities are what truly drive lasting results. This brings me to a crucial point. Our mistakes have often become our greatest teachers. For me, a mistake that became growth was trying to carry everything on my own. I thought asking for help would make me look less capable, but it did the opposite. It made my decision better, execution stronger, and leadership more effective. I love to hear your thoughts, Murat. How have mistakes contribute to grow in your journey?
Thank you, Carmen. I think all of us make mistakes, and contrary to popular belief, mistakes are what show that you are learning and growing instead of being comfortable where you are. And I think the mistake that became a growth moment for me was saying yes to too many things at once. I was always very excited about every opportunity, projects, community initiatives. But I quickly learned that passion without boundaries can lead to burnout. And that experience taught me the importance of prioritization and focusing on work where I can create most impact. Again, tying in the last part where you can delegate other things for the people who can do it better than you and take them along for better impact and more progress.
Thank you, Murat. That's true. So when we delegate, we can have a more effective work. And as we reflect on the mistake that have shaped our growth, it's important to acknowledge that this experience can often lead to moments of self-doubt. I face self-doubt while leading project in a fast-changing tech environment where constant relearning is essential. What helped was returning to fundamentals, preparation, data, and trusted feedback. I stopped asking, I am enough, and I started asking, what does this moment require from me as a leader? That shift changed everything for me. Kurat, can you share a moment of self that you experienced and how you managed to navigate through it?
Absolutely. Thank you, Carmen. I think personally, and before I start, everybody feels self doubt no matter where they are. You could be the most successful, still have self doubt or negative thoughts, which is definitely normal. But I think personally, one of the biggest challenges in my journey so far has been limited mobility, where I was not very mobile due to different health situations and everything. And there were moments where I really doubted myself whether I could keep up with all the opportunities or be present where I needed to be. And that self doubt came up again and again over time. But I have learned to navigate it by approaching things differently, by focusing on building connections through community, collaboration, and the support of incredible people around me. And since I'm talking about incredible people, I'll give like to give a massive shout out to my friend Sarah, who is probably here as well, for always being very supportive in all of my endeavors. And instead of seeing my limitation of mobility as barrier, I saw it as an opportunity to be more creative and persistent. And I think this experience shaped how I lead today. It taught me the value of empathy and inclusion and the importance of creating environments where everybody can contribute and grow, even when challenges might not be visible to everyone.
Thank you for sharing that, Kurat. It's inspiring to hear how you navigate this challenge. And now, for us, it's crucial to consider how empowerment plays a role in transforming leadership. Empowerment changed my focus from visibility to value, from being the one who has all the answers to be the one who builds clarity, trust, and momentum in a certain moments. For me, authentic leadership means coherence. What I believe, what I say, and what I do are aligned. That alignment has become my definition of success. Kurat, I'd love to hear your thoughts on how empowerment has changed your idea of leadership.
Thank you, Carmen. I think I'll start with the fact that I used to think that leadership, or I think the more common understanding is that leadership about reaching a certain position or level of expertise, being the person people come to for all the answers. But over time, with learning and empowerment, I have realized that leadership is less about having all the answers all the time, but more about, again, creating environments where people can feel confident enough to ask questions, share ideas, and grow because everybody's learning all the time. And you might get great ideas from somebody who's not a leader yet, but still in the process. And that has shifted my focus again from individual success to more collaborative success and progress. And some of the most meaningful moments in my career haven't just been personal achievements, but seeing others around me step up into opportunities, whether that's someone getting their first certification or speaking at an event or just a light bulb moment where they realize that they have a space in this ecosystem as well. So for me, empowerment reshaped leadership into something that's more collaborative. It's about building communities, sharing knowledge, and making sure that the door stays open for the next person who is walking, behind me or after me.
Thank you, Kurat. And now, from personal growth, let's move to collective impact and practical actions. At the beginning of my career, success felt very personal. It, it was about doing great work, proving myself, and earning credibility. I was focused on results, execution, and showing that I could perform at a high level. That phase was very important. It helped me build confidence and discipline. But at some point, my perspective shifted. I stopped asking only, how far can I go? And I started asking, how can my leadership help more people grow? That question changed everything for me. Today, I still care deeply about results, but also pay attention to something bigger. Who is being heard, who gets opportunity, and who is growing. For me, that is what empowerment looks like now. Not just personal success, but shared progress. And to be clear, inclusive leadership does not mean lowering standard. It's mean applying a standard fairly. It's mean creating real access to visibility, growth, and decision making based on talent and potential. It is also being aware that not everyone starts from the same place. Some people had easier access to network, sponsorship, or high visibility projects. So, part of leadership is noticing those gaps and acting on them. In practice, I try to do a few things consistently. First, I make sure great work is visible. A lot of strong contributions stay unnoticed, especially from people who, who are less vocal. So I call out impact clearly and specifically. Second, I try to open access, not just give advice. That can mean recommending someone for a strategic project, bringing them into the key conversation, or connecting them with the right people. Third, I focus on feedback that is honest and useful, not generic comments, but clear guidance. What is working, what needs to be improved, and what the next step could be. And fourth, I try to model a leadership style that is both clear and human. High standards, accountability, and performance, yes, but also respect, trust, and space for different styles of leadership. Because when only one voice is seen as leader like, we lost a lot of talent. With that in mind, I love to hear your thoughts, Kurat. How you empower other women in your leadership journey.
Thank you, Carmen. I absolutely love all the points that you have covered, and it shows that you lead with a lot of intention. I absolutely love the fact that you amplify voices where people might be making bigger contribution, but they're not as much vocal. It's very important. Um, I think for my 2 cents on this part, I'll just say that a lot of talented people, women, hesitate to step forward simply because they're not sure if they're ready, or they don't see many people like themselves in the space again, not having enough representation. So one of the ways I try to empower others is by creating environments where learning and participation feels accessible and welcoming and not threatening. This could be through mentorship, sharing knowledge openly, building communities and people can ask questions without feeling intimidated. And sometimes empowerment could be just as simple as telling someone that you are ready for this opportunity, go for it. I also believe visibility matters. When women see other women speaking, leading, and building careers in tech, it quietly changes what feels possible. So, in my journey, I try to be intentional, and empowerment has been about opening doors where I can, sharing what I have learned and making sure that the path feels a little clearer for anybody else who would like to comment.
Thanks, Kurat. Now, let's discuss a crucial aspect of leadership, the responsibility that comes with it. Leadership comes with responsibility. We all influence culture, whether we realize it or not, through who we promote, listen to, challenge, and support. For me, responsible leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about making fair decisions, being intentional, and creating conditions where everyone can do their best work. This responsibility means being aware of our preconceptions and ensuring everyone has a voice. It's about fostering an inclusive environment that values diverse perspectives. Responsible leaders are also accountable for their actions, knowing their influence impacts individual and also the organizations. And finally, it's about leading with integrity and purpose, recognizing that our choices helps others grow and success. This is the shift I practice daily, from individual success to collective impact, and from proving myself to creating a space where more people can grow. I want to live with Kura. What do you believe is the responsibility that comes with leadership?
Thank you, Carmen. As you have also very well outlined it, that leadership is a big responsibility. You are shaping or breaking careers, motivations, and so much more. So I think as leaders, people are always observing more than we do realize. They are observing how we make decisions, how we treat others, how we respond to challenges. So one of the biggest responsibilities is to lead, again, as you said, with integrity and consistency and constantly showing up. I also believe leadership comes with the responsibility to create opportunities for others as well. Um, Many of us reached where we are because of countless people pitching in. Someone opened a door for us, offered guidance, or believed in our potential. And leadership is all about continuing that circle. And finally, I think leaders have a responsibility to build environments where people can again feel safe and learn, contribute, and grow. When people feel trusted and supported, they always bring their best ideas to their work, their best work forward as well.
That's really true. Thank you, Kurat. And as we conclude, let's focus on one key piece of advice for emerging leaders. If I could offer one piece of guidance, it could be this: don't wait to feel fully ready. In fast changing environments, especially in technology, no one is ever 100 prepared. You gain experience by stepping in, preparing well, staying curious, and adapting quickly. Remember, confidence is built through action. For your next important meeting, pay attention to three things: who speak, who gets heard, and who receives credit. This small habit has significantly influenced team culture more than you may expect. And finally, remember that leadership is a journey, not a destination. Be patient with yourself, stay engaged, and endeavor to uplift those around you. Your growth as leader will inspire others to rise as well. Now, Kurat, what advice could you give to emerging leaders?
Thank you, Carmen. I think that's a very important point. And if I could add one piece of advice for emerging leaders, which I am very well a part of as well, it would be to stay curious and keep learning. In fields like technology, Salesforce, where things are evolving much more quickly now with AI, the leadership today isn't about knowing everything. It's more about being open to learning and growing with your team. I would also encourage leaders not to underestimate the power of community. Some of the biggest growth in my own journey came from learning with others, sharing knowledge, and surrounding myself with people who challenge and support me at the same time. And finally, I think I would share a personal milestone as well, where when I started back in 2017, as I said, there was no community around where I was. We worked on building communities. We worked on building Pakistan Dreaming, which is the only Salesforce community conference happening from Pakistan. We have been able to bring together speakers from multiple different continents, different countries, and it had a massive impact for our community. And when I
Mhm.
was managing all of it from my room for many years, I never thought that I would end up standing next to Mark Benioff one day, which was again is a very big testament to the fact of how even if you are in emerging communities, you can still have massive impact. You can create a path for yourself, you can create a path for other people. So I think even if your goals right now feel delusional, you should still go for them because there's nothing you can not achieve with consistent and hard work over time. And with this, I will pass it back to you, Carmen, for the closing comments.
Thank you that you continue do a great work in the community. So thank you very much. And as I close, here is what I believe now. Leadership is not only about what I achieve, it is also about what becomes possible for others because of how I lead. That is the shift I try to practice every day, from individual success to collective impact, from proving myself to building environments where more people can success. If there is one thing I want you to take away, is this: leadership isn't just about personal success, it's about creating opportunities from everyone and breaking down the barriers that hold many women back. Inclusive leadership means setting high standards, ensure fair access, and taking real action. The future of leadership isn't just about who succeeds, but how many people can live up together. Thank you, Kurat, and thank you all of you for being part of this conversation. And now we love to open the conversation to answer your questions.
We have a great question to start with, Carmen, that I can ask you, and we can talk about it. That is about what opportunities lie ahead for women in technology, and are there any groups and forums that they should stay connected with to nurture their skills and share leadership qualities?
I know that there are groups and forums that we can connect and where we can learn about the skill or share leadership stories. I can share that forums or groups lately because I not have right now the the real names and the access to that groups. And I think that today we have a lot of opportunity for women in technology. And I think that is more easier than before now for women to start working in technology and also to have a leadership positions. Um, when I start my career, it was very difficult to get to a leadership positions. But I think that with learning and engagement and be trying to what we do impact the company, we can get to that leadership space. And as I said, we can change the design of the table and start working and helping more women to get to that table also.
That's amazing input, Carmen. Thank you so much. I think you have perfectly covered everything. I will just add a few things to it as well. I know Nespon is working on multiple initiatives for empowering women, and also everybody saw in the start it's a woman-owned company, which is amazing to see. Um, and you can always reach out to them to hear more about, or stay tuned, follow their LinkedIn page to see what their initiatives they're working on. In terms of the Salesforce community, you can always connect with your local Trailblazer community leaders, go and attend sessions. And I would urge everyone to step up and become a speaker. It's very intimidating, but you have to take the step forward for it to materialize. It would be hard first, but it will become much more easier. If there is no community group around you, go ahead and create one. You can be a source for bringing together people and making your own impact. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, any of us on LinkedIn. Always very happy to talk and share more. And again, thank you everyone for joining. If there are any questions after the session as well, feel free to reach out to us. But thank you very much for staying put for 1 hour and 20. Oh, 1 hour. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great, amazing rest of your day.
Thanks to both of you speakers. Myself, I'm just introducing myself, Shama Hashmi, to all the external audience here. I'm also the president of Nespon Solutions, and very happy to have this conversation today. It was very inspirational for me as well, very directional. And I'm very thankful to both the speakers, Carmen, who works for Nespon as the delivery director for North America, which is the main chunk of our business, and it's about the software delivery to the clients. And we are very happy to receive this. The guest, the most valued guest here is Quratulain. Her recent achievement is that she's been a Salesforce MVP, and she is also the winner of the Golden Hoodie Award that was awarded to her by Mark Benioff at Salesforce and Dreamforce itself. So very happy to have both of you here. And what I want to add here is that for both of our speakers, their journey started very humble. Their journey started very from the very basic steps, and then they climbed up the ladder of leadership with their conviction and with their objective. So one of the things that I would like to add here is that, and they have also mentioned it, is to lead with conviction and thinking that what will be the impact of our goals and objectives. It's not just a personal journey, it is a journey that impacts many people around. And this is a quality of leadership that is common with both men and women, that you make your choices by thinking about the impact on others. And then you set those trends, and then you set those guidelines for everyone to enjoy. So thank you very much. This was very inspirational, a lot of takeaways, and we would like to continue this journey. And see you all next time.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
Thank you
Carmen,
very
for
much.
being here.
Thank you, Kurat.